I bought a camera from you and you're telling me to write family support or something like that in the description. Like, this is my money. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2026 and welcome to another episode of Business Gist. It's nice having you here once again in this new year. And today we are going to be talking about something that is very, very, very interesting because as we all know that in Nigeria currently, there has been a lot of back and forth as regards the new tax reform. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. With me here is a tax enthusiast and is going to be educating us on the things that we need to know as regards the tax reforms. While we go into that, I want to remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and peradventure you are listening to us on Spotify, ensure that you hit the follow button, like this video or audio, and drop a comment below if you have learned a thing or two. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hi, good day.
Yeah, good day.
All right, so can we meet you, our tax enthusiast?
Okay, my name is Mustapha Abiodun, and I'm a tax enthusiast.
All right, so before we go into the questions, I like people having a background of wish talking so that they'll know that you are talking out of knowledge. So can you give us like a background of maybe your qualifications, things you do, just a brief?
Okay, I'm a student of Ibrahim University, and currently the tax manager of the Student Bureau Association, where we educate members about the taxation and current tax policy in the country.
All right, so there's a trumpet you didn't blow, you're a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
Sorry,
okay.
It's directing me. I can't, it's
Yes.
not that easy. So
Yes, and I'm also a chartered accountant.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been hearing a lot about the tax reforms, like tax. I think it started around late last year when everybody started talking about tax. So what actually does the tax reform really mean? Like, what does it actually entail now, apart from all the rumors and everything that we have been hearing everywhere?
All right, so the tax reform is actually signed into law by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on June 26, and this tax reform is actually brought into play deals with the problem of the previous tax law regime. One of them is the multiplicity of taxes, and another one is the different tax laws that we have. So this tax reform actually comes into play to harmonize some tax laws, some existing tax laws, so that it can be easy for taxpayers to comply and for tax administration.
Okay, so would you say that the tax reform is actually for the betterment of things
exactly.
on the long run?
The tax reform is actually there to help taxpayers to for easy compliance and also to ease the tax administration. So it is for the betterment of the people.
Okay, so people should stop being scared
Exactly.
about tax reform.
Yeah.
All right, so our audience is primarily students and entrepreneurs, and I know they are very, very curious to know how the tax reform is going to be affecting them. Like, the year has started, tax reform started January 1st, allegedly. So how do you think this tax reform affects students and entrepreneurs, and what are the key things to note about the tax reforms?
Okay, so I will starting with this. As an entrepreneur can either register as a business team or as a company. Okay. So if an entrepreneur is started as a business team, that means the entrepreneur is starting as either a associate partnership or as a partnership business.
Yeah.
So in this case, the entrepreneur will be liable to tax under personal income tax. Okay. While for entrepreneur is registered as a company, those ones are liable to tax under company income tax. So why do we need to know this? Because there are different tax applications for business name and for what? For companies. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I would like to say is about the tax allocation number, which is being introduced. It has been existent before, but then it was the new tax act or the new tax reform act actually try to make it easier for companies and for individuals to generate their tax ID.
That's TIN.
That is TIN. Okay. That is taxpayer identification. So the new name for it is now taxpayer identification.
Okay, so it's not TIN again.
Not TIN again. So the new name is taxpayer identification. It's still the same thing as the previous TIN. So every taxable persons are expected to actually register for this tax ID. Okay. So either you are individuals. Now, when I say taxable persons, I'm talking about people that earns income from economic activity. Either you are working with someone and then you're earning salary, or maybe you are engaged in a trade and then you get a profit. So if you are engaged in any economic activity, you are expected to register for tax ID.
Akoya has something to tell you.
All right, over 90% of the people who watch Business Gist are not subscribed. That is not good enough for us. Help us to build this community we are building for creatives, leadership, and thought leaders. Let's work together. Kindly like, share, and make sure you subscribe to Business Gist with Akure. Thank you.
I have a very funny question under that. So, what of people that work online, like maybe forex traders?
Yeah, even the new law has actually captured these people now. So if you are working online, maybe either as a forex trader or as a content creator or anything, you are now expected to register as for tax ID. You have to comply with tax obligation. So this tax ID, like I said, taxable person. So that means as a student, if you are not, maybe the only source of income is your maybe allowance or maybe anything that is not from profit or from salary or from any income or any economic activity, then you are not expected to register for tax ID.
So if you are like my source of income is my mommy and my daddy.
Exactly. You don't need to register for tax ID. It is only when you are engaged in economic activity that is when you have to register for tax ID. So this tax ID can actually register. It's very easy to register now. That is, you just need to visit the portal, that is Nigeria Revenue Service portal. Just search for taxid.nrs.gov.ng. So once you get there, for individuals, you can use the NIN to generate the tax ID. So just input your NIN, automatically you have your tax ID.
Okay, so which means that the NIN is not the tax ID.
Yeah, we can say the NIN has been linked to tax ID so that it will be easier so that you won't be having several ID, because we already have bank verification number. So once you put your NIN there, the number that is generated is going to be linked with the TI tax ID. So it's like the same thing.
So you can use your NIN as your tax ID if you have registered.
If you have registered.
Okay, that makes more sense. So I think, which means that students that are not doing businesses or they don't have economic source of income in quote now are kind of like exempted from the tax craze and all. So now let's go back to entrepreneurs, because I know a lot of people probably don't understand some of these terms, and I don't want us to assume that everybody actually understands what we're trying to say. So the other time you mentioned registering as a business or registering as a company. Now for businesses, there is sole proprietorship, there is partnership. So for those that don't understand, sole proprietorship is if you are the only one, like you are the only brain behind your business, that kind of thing. So what is the difference between the tax reform for business registrations and company registration? Because now we've been hearing a lot of people say things like should they upgrade their business into a company or should they just leave it as a business? So because personally I already share business name, so that's the question that we get most times, like, okay, should I just leave it as a business name? Which one will pay me better? Which one should I go for? Should I just leave it or should I just upgrade as a company? Like, what's the implication for these two categories of people?
All right. So I said earlier that as an entrepreneur, you need to be aware of the tax implication of business name and that of the company. So for business name, like sole proprietorship, you are the one that owns the business, or as a partnership business, those people are taxed under personal income tax, meaning that we don't categorize them separately. That is, they are regarded as one. Like the business and the person are regarded as one.
Oh, so their income is calculated together.
So which means that income you are generating from your business is taxable in your hand. Meaning, if you generate income from your business, you'll be taxed to personal income tax.
Okay.
Because we have different rates for personal income tax and we have different rates for company income tax. Why for companies? If your company is regarded as a separate legal entity, so the profit of the company will be taxed under company income tax. For individuals, they are taxed under personal income tax. So we have the rate and band rate and tax rate for that. Band and tax rate for that. While for companies, they are taxed under company income tax.
So it's more like if you registered as a business like a small business, in quotes now, the tax rate that will be used for you is the one used for personal income. So is it like the tax rate for personal income is lower or it is higher?
Yeah, so the personal income tax is progressive rate of tax, meaning we call it pay as you earn. That is, as you are earning more, you're actually paying more. more tax. So is that at the graduated system of tax. Is a graduated system of tax, meaning for the first tax burden rate is 800,000 naira annually. So if your income is 800,000 annually, your taxable income, if it is 800,000 naira annually, you won't pay any tax. That is 0%. The next one is 2,200,000 naira, and that will be like, I forgot the rate. I think that should be 15%. So at that rate, like that.
So the higher your income, the higher your tax. So for companies, do they have like a fixed?
Yeah, for companies are categorized into under the Nigeria Tax Act. We have the small company and we have the large company. The small companies are those companies that earns annual gross turnover of 100 million naira or less than that, and their fixed asset does not exceed 2 million naira. So those small companies do not pay any tax. They don't pay tax. So their tax rate is 0%. So
I understand why everyone was
yeah, exactly. So people were like, if I have a turnover, let's say I have a business and my turnover is like 20 million naira, then why don't I just
upgrade
to
and I'll not pay
any tax?
But Nigerians are wise.
Exactly. But what people don't know is that even these companies also have their own legal implication. In terms of maybe as a company you may need to pay some other fees. So you need to be aware of any other cost implication that may actually. So, but then if you know that you are actually going to be these companies is actually going to favor you, then you can actually change your business to a limited liability company.
I think to change to LLC, it has requirements of how much turnover you have to be earning and all of that. So it's not actually a easy thing to just jump through per se. So let me give a bonus for like salary earners. So salary earners will fall under personal income tax, right? Okay. So I wanted to clarify this one more time because I know we said it in passing, but in passing. So if for clarity purpose, if the income is within 0 to 800,000 naira annually, so there's no tax on it.
Yeah, it's at 0%.
So how are they going to know that?
Let's use the salary that you just like you said. Let's use that as an example. Let's assume that I'm a salary earner, and then let's say per month I earn, let's say 50,000 naira, just as an example. So if you multiply that by 12, that would be 600,000 naira. That is my salary. Now it is not the salary that we are taxing. It's not just the salary that we are taxing. There are some deductions. There are some things that are going to deduct. There are some allowed reductions that we deducted before we now arrive at what we call taxable income. So this taxable income we are actually going to tax.
So what are those deductions?
Okay, an example is National Housing Fund contribution. So if you contribute to this, you will be the amount you contributed annually will be deducted. Another one is there is one relief that is actually introduced under this new Nigeria Tax Reform Act, and that is the rent relief.
Rent relief. Can you expand on that?
Rent relief is for any person that pays rent. You will be given a relief of 20% of your rent that you pay, or 500,000 naira, whichever is lower. What I'm saying is that the lower of the rent that you pay, that is lower of 20% of the rent that you paid. Comparing that with 500,000 naira. So the lower of the two is what we are going to give you as a rent relief. Should I say that again?
Sorry. I understood the way, that's why I laughed.
Okay.
So like what I'm trying to say in short is like, let's say for instance your rent is 10 million naira. So 20% of that is 200,000 naira. So if your rent is 10 million naira, 20% is 200,000 naira. So they will give you 200,000 naira because it's lower than 500k. But if your rent is like maybe 1 billion now,
then this will
they will give you the 500k.
So what I'm saying is that the rent relief given is, so let's assume that you are earning 2 million, you are paying 2,500,000 as a rent, and then the 20% of 2,500,000 is 500,000 naira. So that means you are going to be given the whole rent relief, because it is actually equal to the maximum you can actually claim. So let us now assume that you pay rent that is more than 2,500,000 naira. Then the 20% of that will be actually more than 500,000 naira. So that means the maximum you can actually get as a relief is 500,000 naira. You cannot get more than that.
So how do people receive these payoffs?
How do we receive the?
How do people receive it? Is you paying the rent, be paying the rent? How do you receive this payoffs?
Like the rent relief now, is it only covered for? Because I know we're talking about it under salary earners. So is it only covering salary earners, or is it everybody?
Every individuals, and whether supervisor, partners, any individuals. So how do we claim this relief?
Yes.
So number one is you have to provide a document supporting that you actually pay the rent.
Okay.
So maybe a receipt that okay, I've paid this actual rent. Okay. So this receipt has to be submitted, and the receipt has to be submitted. That's how you claim the relief to the SIRS, State Internal Revenue Service. So now what happens is the way we collect tax in Nigeria is that we use what we call self-assessments. Okay. As a salary earner, you are expected to self-assess yourself to tax. You are expected, when I say self-assess, I mean you are expected to file your own let me not use term again. You are expected to declare your own income.
More like you are being plain about what to use your money to do.
Exactly. So if it's salary you are earning, you have to be transparent about it.
Everybody is using their money to do family donations these days. Everybody.
So you just have to be transparent about it. Okay, this money is from my salary, right? Okay. You have to put that. So everything you now be. There are some some states has actually deployed some ways you can pay. You can self-assess yourself through using online digital means. Okay. You just need to like input your details, input all those things that you actually earn. If you earn income from salary, you put it there. You earn income from other sources, business, you put it there. Then assets. Exactly. So if you are paying all these national housing fund contribution, you are paying all these ones, then those ones will also be updated there. Then the rent will also be updated there. But one thing about salary is that it is the employer that files the return of the employees. So if you are working in a company, so the employers will file the pay as you earn, which is your salary. Your salary will be filed to the State Internal Revenue Service. So it is the employer that will file the return. So the employer is expected to get the documents and details from you as an employee.
Okay, so I don't want us to lose track of where we're coming from, right? Okay. So we're coming from where we're talking about how we get to taxable income. Yeah. So you were talking about after we remove the housing parts, they remove this, they remove that. That's when we get to taxable income. So you were talking about the things that will be removed, right? So yes. Are there other things that?
Yeah, we have some other allowed deductions like pension contribution fund. If you contribute to your pension fund, that will also be an allowed deduction. If you contribute to health insurance scheme, national insurance scheme, that will also be an allowed deduction.
Okay. So like that, we have any balance that is left is what will be taxed.
So and the tax we levied the graduated rate system, meaning first 800,000 at 0%. Meaning the first 800,000 from your taxable income is 0%. So like that at the graduated rate.
Okay. Well, how about people that are business owners now? Okay. They are also using the first what was the term now? The first person taxable income.
Okay.
The type of tax that they remove for personal income tax. So business owners are also using personal income tax, but they don't exactly like contribute to things like FIRS, this and that, like directly. Most of them don't contribute directly to like pension funds and all of that, because at least I know people that are salary earners that work with the government, I know that most of these things are deducted automatically for most of them. So what of people that are now business owners, and how are we going to like the curiosity is that how are they going to navigate knowing the actual taxable income, like having to be able to remove things that are not supposed to actually be taxed?
Okay, I said the other time that there's something called self-assessment. So you must have provided your documents.
Okay, so business owners too are required to provide their documents.
Yes, every taxable person has to provide the document necessary to you to claim any deductions. So there must be a document supporting the deductions you want to claim. So if you want to claim a rent relief, there must be a receipt that shows that you actually pay the rent to your owner of the house. If you want to claim a national insurance scheme, there should be something supporting that. So there must always be a document that supports the deductions that you want to claim.
All right. Okay, so I believe that we have been learning so far, but before we go into we have few questions from our listeners who that's reached out to us as regards it. But before that, I want to remind you again to hit the subscribe button in the name of Jesus, please. Hit the subscribe button. If you are listening on Spotify, hit the follow button, like the video, like the audio, drop a comment. If you still have like a question peradventure, you could drop it in the comment section. All right, so we have a few questions here, right? And I have a so the first question is tilting towards people that have non-governmental organizations now. They receive money through different means and all of that. So the question says that for an organization I work with, we pay VAT, that's value added tax, monthly on the 20th of each month. Now the organization is a non-governmental organization. However, my boss sent me this and asked me to confirm. I heard that with the new tax updates, we'll just be filing nil as our payments, as our payments are not in the region of 50 million. So they are registered as a non-governmental organization. Before, they used to pay on the 20th of this month. But now they are saying they'll be filing nil because their turnover is not in the region of 50 million. So they're asking that how true is it that they won't need to pay VAT monthly anymore because they don't earn up to 50 million per year. So I think this is more of a question about how they tax NGOs.
Okay, I think she mentioned something like filing of VAT, right?
Yes.
All right. So according to the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, which is one of the acts that were actually passed into law, the act defines small businesses as businesses that earns annual gross turnover of 100 million naira or less than that, and in which fixed assets does not exceed 250 million naira. So this company, since the company earns lower than 50 million naira annual gross turnover, they will not be mandated. They are going to be regarded as a small business, and small business are not mandated to file VAT. They are not mandated to file VAT returns. They are not mandated to file VAT returns. So they are exempted from filing VAT returns.
So they are exempted from filing VAT returns.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's a good one, I think. Okay. So coming from the answer to that question as regards the NGO, big companies, small companies, it will lead me to the next question, right? And it's a question of who does this tax reform actually favor? High income earners or the low income earners? So would you say that it is going to be, because everybody is complaining about the tax reform, even like the low income earners, average income earners, everybody's just about tax. That's like the hottest gist right now in Nigeria generally. So who would you say this reform is out to favor? Would you say it's out to favor the high income earners, or like put a limit to how they spend or something like that? Or would you say it's going to actually favor the low income earners?
Okay, so I would say it will favor the low. It is not going to affect both low income. It's not really going to affect both low income earners and even the high net worth individuals. However, for low income earners, it will favor them as we paying less tax as compared to the previous tax law. Let me give you the scenario is the payee structure, the payee band rate and tax rate. If you compare the taxes that we paid by low income earner to that we paid now, we are going to result to a lower tax. So if for low income earners or middle income earners, they'll be paying less tax compared to that which is being paid in the previous tax law. And also for the high net worth individuals, they will actually be paying an increase, but the increase is not at a higher percentage.
It's based on what they actually
earn. So it's not going to really affect them also, although they will be paying higher than that which is paid in previous law.
So more like it's promoting a free and fair
equity balance
tax system kind of thing. All right. So my last question.
I want to add to the low income earners and consumers.
Okay, let's continue from that.
Okay, so
just continue.
All right. So another benefit to people of society is the value added tax input VAT recovery that was introduced. So some goods have now been reclassified as zero rated item. These goods are previously called exempt items. So let me explain better. So value added tax is levied on goods that we consume, goods and services that is being consumed. So before now, we have what we call exempted items. Exempted item means that VAT are not charged on these items, but the producers of this item cannot claim an input VAT. Input VAT is the VAT you are going to pay when you purchase these materials that you use in making these supplies, while output VAT is the one that's being charged. So it means that if you're not going to charge any VAT, let's now assume that you are not charging any tax on the goods you want to sell, but you are paying an input VAT. That means the cost will be higher, right? But now
that
they have now reclassified these exempt items into zero-rated items. Zero-rated items are those ones in which the tax has been levied, the VAT has been levied on it at 0%. Meaning we are not charging out VAT also. But in these zero-rated items, we can claim input VAT. Meaning that you can get a refund of the tax you have paid in getting those materials that are used in producing the supplies.
Okay, so basically, let's say for example now you make I don't know what. Can you give me an example of one of those items?
Let's just say you are producing all this water, all this
Pure
something
water.
like this, yeah.
Okay, bottled water.
So let's say bottled water.
Okay.
Now, this is a basic food item.
Yeah.
And now the the plastic, exactly, the plastic cover, you get it, right, to produce this thing. Now, you're paying a VAT on them, right?
For buying
them.
Production items. Okay.
Exactly. Now, but when you are selling these items, you will not charge VAT on it because VAT on it is 0% for the people you are selling to, the customers. Okay. So you're not charging any VAT on it.
On what
so what the new law is now saying that which has now classified the basic food items under zero-rated items. Okay. So what they're saying is that those taxes you have incurred on purchasing these materials you're using, getting this, will now be refunded back to you.
So you can seek for a refund for the production, like the tax on the production items.
So it means that it will reduce your cost of production.
Which means that prices of things are actually supposed to reduce.
So with the consumers,
but then this is Nigeria.
Items like basic food items, items like healthcare, all these pharmaceutical products, items like educational materials and books, they are meant to reduce. They are meant to reduce. So we are expecting a reduction in the price of these goods.
In Jesus' name. Amen. We pray so. Please, manufacturers, we are begging, help us to reduce it. Thank you very much. So this will lead me to a question, right? And the question is that how is this tax reform going to reflect in our day-to-day activities? Like for me, I don't have any issue with them charging tax per se, right? My own issue is that this tax that they are charging, where is it going?
Okay.
Like, are they using it to build roads? Are they using it to make our lives better? Are they using it to like maybe do students reform or something? Like, because most of the time, I feel like the issues that Nigerians, the questions Nigerians have is that if you tell us to do this, drop this money, we cannot see where this money is going. And I believe that if we all can see clearly, like, okay, there's transparency, let me put it that way, transparency in finances, then people will have less like questions on, they say we should pay tax. Well, the problem is that everybody is saying this tax now, this is just another way to embezzle money. So how is it going to like be for the betterment of the citizen? Where is the money actually going at the end of the day? Where is it supposed to go? Let me put it that way.
So taxation is one of the way, or tax is one of the way by which government generates revenue, right? Okay. And it is this revenue that they use in providing social amenities to the public. It is this tax, it's this revenue that they also use for the expenses and for taking care of the public goods and services. And it is this revenue that they use in let me just say it. Yeah, that is what they use that's what they use to finance their expenditure. That's what they use in financing their expenditure. So what our governments can actually make this better is by being transparent, like you said. So if governments are being transparent about how these public funds are being used, then the public will be able to trust in government. Because the tax reform is actually one of the objectives of tax reform is to ensure that government generates revenue and also to promote economic growth. So we are expecting that even as government are collecting this tax revenue, they will use it in providing social amenities to the public. So
we are expecting that we should see better amenities, probably better roads and lights. Because now they are charging remote workers tax. Lights. So all right, so that works. That is nice, like coming from what we expect. But now we are hoping that what we expect is what we get. Because in Nigeria we are fond of like, we have high expectations, and at the end of the day you wonder where did all this. So now to my last question, which I said is a very, very funny question, because I'm very, very curious about it, because I'm genuinely tired. I'm tired of description. Like everywhere. If you open WhatsApp like this, you'll be seeing business owners post. When you send me money, you put family fund, you put what they used to put different things. You put you put food allowance. If you I even saw one. So it's very very funny. Like they actually listed. They're like, if you are sending me 0 to 500K, write food allowance. If you are sending me 1 million to 5 million, write family support. If I'm like, so you actually sat down to like, try to distinguish what you want to be writing in description. So when you go to POS and they're telling you to write, like, I saw a video recently. Let me just see. The person, I think the person sells gadgets, and he was saying that I bought a camera from you. Why can't I remember? I bought a camera from you, and you're telling me to write family support or something like that in the description. Like, this is my money. I'm buying camera from you, so I have to write it there that I'm buying camera. Yeah. So what is actually the true conception behind this description craze that is going on? Does it actually matter, this whole description thing on the long run? Does it actually matter? How is it even supposed to be in the first place?
All right. So narration does not really affect the tax you are paying, and what narration is there to do is just to provide a good accounting system for you, structure for you. So the narration is just, even if you put gift in narration, you put family, all you're taxing is the government cannot just go and deduct your money from your bank account. And people also have that misinformation that when they collect money and the government will just go to the account and then they deduct. No, government cannot just withdraw money from the account. So now the narration that is down there is just for proper accounting system, accounting structure. So even if you don't put narration there, put narration there. The narration is just for you to have a good accounting structure. It does not reduce your tax. So let's assume that, and then another thing I need to say is that government doesn't tax cash flows. Government doesn't tax the cash you are receiving in your account. What government tax is taxable income. And taxable income is different from the money coming into your account. Taxable incomes, for example, I can receive gifts, right? Gifts are not taxed. But if I receive income, maybe I engage in a trade and I receive income, that income will be taxed. So
how would they? I think Nigerians are trying to play smart because now income that came from a business, they are writing gifts.
All right.
So how would like government be able to actually distinguish between this? Because from what you said, I said they are not deducting it automatically. So are we the one that will tell them that, oh, this is the amount I made?
That is the law. That is the standard.
Government will go through a lot too.
As an individual.
Government, you will go through
as an individual or as a trader or as a business.
Yeah.
You are actually expected to file your own returns. That is to self-assess yourself.
To be transparent. Then you take the tax to them.
Tax, exactly. You are the ones who actually. So when you now do this, and they now see that, oh, maybe you are wrong, or maybe that is when they can now issue an additional assessment.
Oh, they would know that you are wrong.
Yeah, you have submitted some supporting documents. So with this, okay, for example, now your bank statement now shows that is the essence of narration initially. The narration is not there for you to reduce tax. It's for you to have this one is for income. You put it there. It's for you to have a good accounting structure
for yourself.
So that they won't be saying that, okay, even the gifts you are receiving is an income. When you yourself put a gift there.
Oh, so narration can help it. I believe that narration can help in a case where the government calls for your account, that kind of thing. So it helps you to gain clarity.
Yes, that is the essence of narration. So narration is not there for you. It's not just for you to reduce. Narration has always been there even before this new act.
Actually.
But I don't know why people just want
because I need people to have mercy on people that are probably not using Android phone, and they have to use button phone to transfer. Like, how do you expect them to put narration?
So narration is just for proper accounting structure for yourself.
So narration does not actually affect
the tax. It's just for proper accounting structure. So what we are taxing is taxable income. And the taxable income is after you have deducted some expenses. So we are not taxing the cash flow. If it's a trader, because in the previous laws, we have informal sectors. That is those people that are not, they don't register for tax, they don't pay tax, they are just there, like an underground economy, like they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
So if a business, let's say a company actually, enter into a contract with an unregistered person, that is, you do not register for tax ID.
Okay.
The company can be liable to a 5 million penalty. So even though the tax reform comes to ease compliance, it also comes with penalties too.
I think we didn't talk about that penalty at all.
Yeah, so it is actually very important that taxpayers, either individuals or companies, that they are compliant.
So which is that if you own a business now and you want to like maybe get job from a company, but you are not tax compliant, there's a high probability that the company will reject you.
Yes.
Because of that, so that they will avoid
the penalty. Because let's assume a company now enter into a contract with another registered person. The contract will be the one to be facing the 5 million penalty.
I just want
company that will be the one to face
I feel like emphasizing on this, especially for people that are that have like personal brands, or you offer like skills. You know, what it's trying to say is that if you want to work, let's say I have a company now and you offer a skill and you want to work with my company, and I ask you that, are you registered like with tax? Do you have TIN? Are you paying your tax? And you say no, I will not allow you to work with me, because if I allow you to work with me, I'll pay 5 million naira. So so everybody has to get their tax so that they will not cover the people that are paying tax. Well, I think they did that one well, because I was already wondering on their behalf that how would they expect people to be very transparent.
Apart from that, also, there's something called presumptive tax under the Nigerian Tax Act. So if you are someone who has not been paying tax, you have not been filing your returns, you have not been doing anything, just there, and then the government now sees you that this person is actually earning income, maybe through your skills, maybe through you trading, and they now actually found out that this person is actually getting profit or income. Then the tax authority has the power to, the first thing they want to do is that they want to like get your information from you. If you want to get all your relevant information from you, if they can estimate, if they can actually get your income from that, if they can ascertain your income accurately, then you'll be taxed based on that income. But if it is not possible, where they have tried all practical means and it's not possible for them to ascertain the income of that person or trader, then they will use what they call presumptive tax. Presumptive tax is where they just assume. So they just look at, what are you doing? Okay, what kind of turnover will a trader like that you have? Is doing something? So they will now levy tax on it. So and then apart from that, there can also be a penalty attached to it, because if you don't pay tax, there are penalties attached to it. So as a taxpayer, as an individual, it is necessary that the taxpayers are tax compliant and they keep a proper accounting structure for themselves.
I think this needs to be emphasized, because like a lot of us probably assume that the tax will be deducted like from our account. So from what we've learned today now, we've learned that you are the one that will actually declare your tax and ensure that you pay your tax. Now, if you feel like I can avoid it, I mean, it is my choice. It's not exactly your choice, because if they catch you, they can presume how much your tax should be, and just give you any amount. There are actually penalties relating to this. So I believe that we've had a very beautiful episode. I personally enjoyed this and I learned a lot, and I believe that you have learned a lot in today's episode too. So if indeed you have learned a lot, ensure to drop one thing that you've learned in the comment section. Share this video to as many people as you know, because this is very, very important for everybody, both people that are working on the streets, people that are into forex, you are into crypto, you are into you have a company, you have an NGO. It is very, very important for everybody to be tax informed. So let us be tax informed, and let's ensure to pay our tax. Let's ensure to file our returns and be honest with it. And let's remember that narrations is for your own good. So stop threatening people to put family support inside the narration. Thank you so much. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today on this episode, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Remember to hit the subscribe button and share this video to as many people as possible. Bye.